Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, everybody. I'm your host, Sir Stephen Topham Hatt the Third at your service. Now we're going to talk about Sodor Q&A questions and answers for 2023. Oh, that's what it is. Yep, 2023, 2023. Anyway, right. We're going to talk about it in a way that people can understand it a lot better. Correction. And Sodor will be understood correctly. Yes, the geographical data of Sodor is upside down, which is south instead of north. Some parts of Sodor is in the northerly direction, easterly direction, westerly direction, depending on the actual where the landscape is or location is. The talyllyn line is a very old one because that faces from east to west. Um, some routes are from north to south, as it would do, and then the other parts of the line will be the Norfolk upside down or Sodor upside down. Basically, they're basically the same geographical data if you look it up. If you look on Google Maps, you will find out there are a lot of questions that need answering. Do all the engines exist? And the answer is partly yes. Um, a lot of the questions that you may have want answers to, excuse my French, are some engines being preserved? The answer is yes on that one. What else is there? Oh, there, yeah. Does the fin controller exist? The answer possibility yes, possibility no. So I'm not going to say that is definite true as such. Um, do all the engines' personalities talk? The answer is no, but they do exist in real life. However, the personalities come from human beings like us, or Sodorans, as we call ourselves. Um, so there's another question down there. So a lot of people think that Thomas and Friends is based on reality. The fact is, the answer is yes, because it starts from 1845 all the way to the future. Now, a lot of you know that Sodor does exist. It's just that not all the railway line does exist now, unfortunately. Um, People think it's in America. The answer is no. Um, this is where it goes down with the crunch a little bit because a lot of it is UK land, UK geographical data, UK railway lines, UK locomotives, UK people that drive the engines. So the drivers know their engines. That's way of putting it mildly and politely. A lot of people understand the railway engines, so do I. Don't get me wrong, because it runs in the family with me, obviously. You all want to know my Hat family. There is an audio book that will be coming out soon, but not yet. Because in the day, I got a lot of, I say me and my private connection have a lot to think about. So it does uh, need a little helping hand here and there. Alright. The other question that you want to ask is, does the hat know every connection? And the answer is yes. We have eyes and ears everywhere. Um, it's like the other question that I get asked a lot of. It does most of the lines exist in the UK? Most of it, yes, because it's a UK. When Audrey wrote his books, he based it on UK railway lines, UK companies, former UK railway companies, before the diesel realm came into play in 1950s to 1960s and 70s. So How do the personalities get taught? Well, the language itself, Southern language, Sodoric, it's not a common language to all people around the globe. Well, it's known to myself and one other set of family member, which you already know. You have to watch the very first video to get the answer for that one. So I'm not going to repeat the same question twice, as they say. The M&GN and the Great Eastern are the main link to all of Thomas's route, near enough. About 50 to 70% of it. Norwich is Orsted, Great Yarmouth is Alsburg West and Bluffs Cove area. Then you have Little Western, obviously. Then you have Knapford, which is Cromer. West Runton is Crosby. Sheringham is Wellsworth. And then you add in Marrod as well for Weybourne. So a lot of areas are there. It's just that people find it hard to believe it still. And regardless of how much improvement they have done, so over the years, they've forgotten that only 5 people knew about that, myself and 4 others. And we try to explain it, we try to pass the buck and say, look, it's all realistic. You know, have a chance to motivate you on this because a lot of it is true. You know, don't forget to subscribe to the channel because, you know, I know some of you just watch the videos and not subscribe, as example. That's another question and the answer given to you directly. And subscribing to this channel helps you understand better about me because if you don't subscribe, you don't get the answers, as you say correctly. Because if you just watch it for free and then just bug off like, or disappear, as they say, we don't want that. We got tons of believers now where they are all standing up and saying, we believe you. We done our bit of research and we believe you. Because they went to the locations, the talyllyn line, the North Norfolk Railway line, all of it. It's all connected. Even the Great Anglia Railway Line Company has a play part in this. And I said, yeah, well, it used to be the London North Eastern Railway Company at one point. And then with all that said and done, I said, do you know how much legacy you have? But you're ungrateful. Let's say there are people that are ungrateful out there, don't realise how realistic it is. That's how determined it is. But the thing is, it all lies down to Q&A, so questions and answers. You know, there's a lot of it going about. You know, we're not talking BSing or anything because we're straight to the point with you guys. So, where are the personalities to the engines? If the story is told in truth, we told it. We struck the gold. We managed to um, throw a bombshell on you on the very first video, which came out in 2021, and it hit 10,000K views where I had, and a lot of people are starting asking questions and saying, "This can't be. This can't be. This can't be real at all. It's a fiction stuff." I said, "No, it isn't. If you do all your maths and calculations correctly, you'd be like, holy smokes, he was telling the damn truth." And then you were like throwing me somewhere where you don't want it to happen. And then the book that everybody's afraid of for happening is the Island Swan Song, which we don't have no choice but to go through it. And that's another question I could give you the answer for. Why the Island Swan Song? I said, did you know it's already happened once? This is the second time it could happen. Lightning strikes twice in one fold, but it won't happen on me directly yet, because I'm a third gen. So, in layman terms, everybody's asking another question. Where's your lady Hatt? Question mark on that one. I can't give out a description of her, but or age for that matter, because it all determines how old I am on top. You see, there are things about the Thomas franchise that you have to live with. Every 21 years of every Hat member of the family rises, so does Steam. And a lot of people say, okay, if it's your son and it's your granddaughter, where the hell are they? I said, have you worked it out yet? A lot of people ask a lot of many questions, and I know there's a lot of questions that the fans want to ask me personally in my face, and I always give them a simple answer. I said, if you already know the answer, don't ask the question. It's the best way to do it. If you know the answer, don't ask the question. If you know the question and you want it answered for obvious reasons, which I am doing for you guys because it's all true. And logically, I'm a Southern by blood. I speak Sudrick. Oh boy, that's my brother, sir. But I also speak like the fat man as well. So that's the special gift that most of my genetic code has come down to. People believe it because they've done their homework. And a lot of people take time, effort, and speed and logical motive and said, look, it's all real, it's all true, it's all logical, it's all facts. And a lot of people just think, oh, this is bullshit. Excuse my language if I feel out of tone on that one. But it isn't bullshit. You know, I know things that other people don't pick up on things. And then other people say, look, okay, the thing is, steam needs to return. Steam trains are most precious as gold. And when I say that, it's a question and the answer all in one swing. It's because it is. It's a quote rather than a question and the answer thrown at you. I said, all those steam engines, preserved or running, are precious as gold. So if you destroy them, as example, then you just destroyed the whole planet with diesels. That's how bad it is. So then, with all that being said and done, people are helping me, but people are also helping me in different directions. Some people say that how can one family been surviving so long without mentioning about themselves until now? Because I've got a power and authority to actually say, look, I have to give you this information because in the day people won't understand it unless it was somebody from the bloodline, and which you have got. You're lucky to get a fat control of third gen, which is me. And a lot of people say, yeah, well, what's next on the line for you? Uh, Well, my life is not a normal journey to go through, right? As it's stated in the Thomas and the Magic Railroad, which is basically where I should have saved Lady, but it never happened because it should happen that way, but it's already happened already once, so it will not happen again for another 1,000 years or so. But the thing is, the steam is required. You know, if you all rely on, let's say hypothetically, let's take it from the next 200 years from now, where I don't exist, then I could give you a possible scenario where my granddaughter's in charge. The swan song will start. They call it the swan song, not the island swan song. She will take over, and then basically, with those 200 years, poof, it will come into play, and then you have Pip and Emma, obviously, being the intercity lines again, obviously, being used, still being used. Why? Because HS2 failed, and then you have most of the other engines as well, but you will have the Steam team as well. So on top of that, people will appreciate Steam for one reason. Steam is more powerful and more reliable because if it drops with one piston, it can run with another piston, so they can still get you your goods on time. Where a diesel can flop, bonk, and then the diesels will have to be replaced by steam because steam is more reliable. They always say in the diesels, they always say, we are better, we are more efficient, we do this, we do that. Well, it isn't that so. In any case, like I said, I always respect my engines in every angle. Preserved or money. You know, they all come out and play. Oliver Cromwell, for example. And then there's another one on the list. Flying Scotsman is another one. But I do think we might end up back in the Victorian age to reboot the whole system. Every time a hat rises, we have to reboot the whole system. Every time. And the only way to do that is two things. Or one thing, I would say. I have to get married, produce an heir, that's number two, and get the grandchildren on the go. That's all it is. That's a 3-step rule. If I don't follow those 3 steps, then if you left me on my own, as example, huh, then you've got a bloody timeline that's screwed up really badly, and people will have to clear up my mess to try and sort it out, and it's not a good idea. Especially when my ancestors got a 90-year service on the line, and a lot of people say, "Oh, you're telling lies." I said, look 'em up yourself. Then it doesn't take a genius to work it out, you know. You know, you already got my ancestor's name. Look him up. And with a 90-year service, he managed to pull off a miracle. When he started on the railway on the 10th of October 1883, a century later, which is the 19th century, I was born on October the 10th, 1983. Now, what list of questions between that? You know, a lot of people are asking the biggest question of all time of all times. You know, does Sodor really exist? The answer is yes. Because I believe all the believers right now. And it's not easy to believe it. Because all you have to do is connect all the old railway networks, get rid of the HS2, rebuild the old railway lines, and really get down to the point and say bring back steam. Because 100 miles per hour is the limit, not 200 miles. I would not see that being achievable. And it's not realistic either. That's my opinion on HS2 completely. But I'm not going to go into detail of that because I already said steam is more reliable in the end. But is there any more questions you want answering? This is a thing. And the questions that you have to ask yourself, there are a lot of answers around you, but you need to find all the clues. We're all scattered because we have to be safeguarded. And because with all that being said and done, a lot of people ask, why you got to be safeguarded? Why has the Hatch got to be safeguarded? Why has your family got to be safeguarded? I said it's all to do with Sir Top of Hat Senior's 90-year service. And a lot of people can't pick up the message on that. Why do you think I've been on the Norfolk Railway for some time and they acting like jackasses, excuse my language, which they are, and they're not helping the situation because they're not apologising to me, number one. Number two, they think they have, you know, the thing is, there's a chain of command which they've broken, right? Everyone has a chain of command. And that chain of command has been broken on the diesel team's side. So if you work it out, they non-believers, they don't want to believe it. Well, sorry, it's true. Because all my friends, colleagues, and connections are all part of all this puzzle as well. So to fix one puzzle piece and all of it is going to take a little while longer. It's not going to be 21 years, I think. I think it's going to be a little bit longer than that because there's a lot of people that need to believe it. You have to see it to believe it. And the thing is, when you want to explain this to your next generation, it's like your own kids, for example, how are you going to explain it to them in the politest way possible? Because in the day, it's down to you now, you know, realistically. But with mine, they're going to get taught. They won't be going to schools or colleges because I won't allow it. You know, I'm breaking the law because I had to save my own family because we're too powerful. You know, not because of the 90-year service. It's because we are too powerful. And a lot of it, it's not a joke. It's not a laughing matter. Don't get me wrong. And it's all like saying Sodor. Question: why is Sodor in pieces? And the answer is it's time. The answer is time. It's because time moves on with us, and we don't even notice it. That's the thing. Plus, that you had a 30-year gap, and then you had something else on top of that. Add it all in, add it on, add it on, add it top it all up. The thing is, a lot of people know things that are true, very true indeed, and then at the same time, you have to understand it's realistic. It's not easy to adapt to it. Don't get me wrong, it's not easy after 65 years. I was saying near enough because you lost 30 years, near enough. 21 years and that, 21 years of that. So every 21 years we have to rise. But because there is a logical motor in it, it's like saying, why all the engines got personalities in human beings rather than engines? Well, at the moment, they will have AI systems in them, and they will talk back to you and say, hold up, what's my buffer? As example, or something like that. And then you'll be so stunned. It won't happen yet, but it will eventually. That the talking train will come to life, and they will also talk back at you because that's the hypothetical. But the thing is, at this present time, there are things that are achievable, and there's some things. The Hatt family is is a believable, but nothing is impossible, as Christopher Reeve quoted. And nothing is impossible. It's just people didn't realise that the Hatt family was real because we lost through time. But their DNA is in the DNA of another set of family, which who I am safeguarding. So a logical matter is like ask yourself a question. The question that I'm going to give you, and I'm going to ask for the answer normally, you will say, oh, that's a joke. Well, it isn't a joke after all, you know. And I looked into this very hardly enough, and I said, there are people out there that do believe what's going on. People do believe it, but they won't say nothing because they don't want to go the same route as I did, or near enough that I did. And they will end up telling the truth the same way as I would, and I will end up saying, look, it's all true in black and white. The thing is You see, there's a piece of history that you will never get back because as part of it's missing for obvious reasons. And that little piece of information is classified as it goes. But if you really look down on the line on it, is it really worth it just to say, look, Sodor is real, but if the HS2 keeps going through the main line from London to Leeds, as an example, we won't have much of a history to look at because all our legacy will be down the toilet there enough. But I am monitoring them. Don't get me wrong, I'm monitoring them like a hawk and say you can't do that. No, 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 no. NO spells no, as they say. Well, that's nearly half an hour of my time, but I thought I'd give you a heads up on Q&As. Does Sodor exist? Yes. Does does the engines exist? Yes. Preserved and and obviously been running. Obviously, yes. Just to run it all down. Do the personalities are in the engines? The answer is probably no, but yes in human beings. Um, the thing is, you just gotta find them all. Once you get all your pieces, I got my 99.9% of the pieces. I only got one piece missing, and it's somebody who's supposed to be in my love life. That's it. That's my private life, of course, in DD. And a lot of it is true. Yes, I believe in all the people around me, but to help you understand, there's another private contact I can pass you into, but you already probably seen his videos. But that's not his. It's his name that I'm not allowed to give out. But the fact is, please subscribe to the channel because if you already subscribed, you should have this as an update video. Thank you very much.